Hi, Steve, again, creator of ForgeSlicer.com. I hope you took the opportunity to look at the introduction to ForgeSlicer. Today, I'm going to talk about two skills that unlock 90% of what people use ForgeSlicer for: importing meshes and combining shapes with Booleans. In the next few minutes, we'll do both and finish with a printable key tag built entirely from primitives, a union, and a subtract. Let's go. This is the target: a flat tag with a raised letter and a hole for a key ring. 3 moves get us there. Import a letter, union it to the body, then subtract a cylinder for the hole. If you can do this, you can do enclosures, remixes, drop-in components, everything. There are 3 ways to get a mesh into the workspace. The first is the import button, top toolbar, right next to open. It accepts STL, OBJ, 3MF, and SVG. SVGs get auto-extruded, so a flat logo becomes a solid. The second way is drag and drop. Just drop the file anywhere on the workspace and ForgeSlicer figures out the format. The third, and this is my favorite, is dropping a zip. If it contains STLs, ForgeSlicer opens the zip importer so you can pick which pieces to bring in. Great for Maker World bundles. Notice 2 things. First, imported meshes land centered on the build plate, not at the file's original origin. Second, if the model is over 150,000 triangles, you'll see a heavy mesh warning because heavy meshes make Booleans sluggish. Before we touch a Boolean button, one concept: every object is either positive, orange adds material, or negative, cyan removes material. You'll see this everywhere in ForgeSlicer. The Boolean toolbar doesn't care about that flag. It combines 2 objects with a specific operation. But the flag does matter when you slice. Negatives get subtracted at export time even without a Boolean. Booleans are for when you want the result baked into one mesh right now. Let's build the tag body first. Add a rectangular solid from the primitives palette. That's our tag. Using the text primitive, we'll position an S on top, sunk in slightly so it looks embossed. Now I want these two treated as one object. Select both, either shift-click or draw a marquee, then hit the Union button, top toolbar. That's the icon with the 2 overlapping circles. Done. The 2 shapes are now a single mesh. Notice the new object's name uses the Union symbol so I can trace where it came from. If I ever regret it, Control+Z steps back and I've got my 2 originals back. When do you use Union? Anytime you want a merged mesh, like when you're saving a component and don't want to ship 30 separate primitives. Now the keyring hole. Drop a cylinder where I want the hole. Diameter about 5 millimeters. Height taller than the tag so it fully punches through. That's a common gotcha. If the cutter doesn't stick out both sides, you'll get artifacts on the surface. Order matters here. Subtract does A minus B, where A is the first selected, B is the second. So I click the tag first, then shift-click the cylinder, hit subtract. Clean hole. If your result looks weird, extra face is missing chunks, 9 times out of 10 it's because one of the shapes wasn't fully overlapping. Move the cutter, undo, try again. Pro tip: if you just want the hole visible in the slicer but don't need to bake it, flip the cylinder to negative instead of running subtract. It'll punch through at export time and stays editable in the workspace. Third operation, and honestly, the one people forget exists, intersect. It keeps only the volume where two shapes overlap, useful for lens shapes, rounded chamfers, and cropping an imported STL to fit a specific bounding box. Drop a big cube around the region you want to keep. Run intersect. Everything outside the cube gets trimmed away. 4 things I wish I'd known day one. 1. Booleans always operate on the last 2 objects if you haven't selected anything. If you have one thing selected, it's selected plus last. If you want an explicit pair, select exactly 2. 2. Heavy meshes make Booleans slow. If a Boolean spins for more than a few seconds, open printability, then decimate and reduce your triangle count first. 3. Booleans need manifold input. Non-manifold STLs from the wild internet fail silently. If a Boolean gives you a weird result, run the mesh through health check first. It'll flag the issue. 4. Boolean bakes the geometry. If you want to keep tweaking dimensions of the source primitives, do your positioning first, then Boolean at the end. That's the full loop. Import, position, union to combine, subtract to cut, intersect to trim. From here, you can save your build as a component, share it publicly, or send it straight to your slicer. If this helped, subscribe. Next tutorial, we're doing parametric enclosures, where you can create boxes, chests, and exhaust ventilation for your room.